Hi everybody, this is David from Beagle Home Inspections. So in today's video, what I'm going to talk about is my reports. So when I go to an inspection, I look and see what I find, and then I need to get that information out to my client in some sort of, efficient manner. It's easy to find. And over the years, my reports have been changing, evolving, and getting better. From some of the feedback I get, hey, maybe change this, maybe change that. So I got a system now that I think I've been using for the last 4 or 5 months, and it was working really well. There's a couple minor tweaks I can still do to it, but for the most part, it works really well. So what I want to talk about today is what my report looks like. And it's divided into 5 sections. So what I'm going to do in this is just briefly go through each section, tell what's in it, why it's in it, and we'll just take a look and see what it says. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first section, when you open my report, is what I call major issues. And these are things that you have to negotiate between the buyer and seller before you sign on the dotted line. These are, like it says, major issues. They're things that can change your life when you buy the house. So for an example, here's one. So this is on a furnace. It's actually the combustion gas vent of the furnace. And if you look close, you can see there's a hole in it. This puts combustion gases into the home, which there's carbon monoxide in those gases. So it needs to be fixed. So this goes into major issues, and it has to be negotiated between the buyer and the seller. Who gets to fix it? Do you take money off or whatever? The thing is, this fix is relatively simple, a couple $100, and you're done. So kind of easy, but it's a major issue. This next one, this is truly a major issue. If you look down on the left-hand side there, you can see the paint is deteriorated, the boards are deteriorated, there's holes in there. When it snows or rains, water's getting down inside there, inside the siding and the walls, and what's it doing inside there? Now this next picture, when you look at it, it's kind of difficult to see, but where that circle is, it bows out, and when you push on it, it feels like a sponge under there. So what is back there? Is anything deteriorated? Is the wood deteriorated? Is there mold back there? And it's really over quite a large area. Some of the estimates have been that $800 to $1,000 just to figure out what's going on, and then possibly $5,000 to $10,000 to fix it. Yeah, this is a major issue. It's got to be negotiated before you sign for this house and write that check for a really big amount. So those are just 2 things, but those are the things that I put in there, and they don't have to be expensive, but they are something that you definitely have to be negotiated on prior to the sale. So the second section, this is what I call minor issues. These are everything that I find that is something is not right. And it can be fairly big, minor, like it says, but these are things that everybody needs to know that exist, the buyer and the seller. Whether you negotiate over it, that's your business. But everybody needs to know, the seller needs to know this condition exists, the buyer needs to know it exists, I'm sorry, so that they know what they're getting into when they buy the house. For example, this one in the backyard, this tree, the limbs are hanging over the roof. So little limbs, twigs, stuff like that are falling down. If a big one falls, it can damage the covering of the roof, the shingles, and that turns into possibly something kind of major. Most of it though is the leaves are falling down, they're getting into the gutters, so they're getting plugged up, the drainage is not happening, so the water can back up, get in the rafters, down the walls, things like that. So it can escalate into a major thing. It is just something that everybody needs to know exists. What you do about it, that's your business. And this next one, this is in a bathroom. It's the fan cover. It's made out of plastic. And it is the little plastic latch that holds it closed is broken. Is it a big deal? No. Go to Home Depot, like $12.98 or something like that. Go get it, fix it. But you need to know that it's there. So when you walk in the house, you go, okay, what's this? The fan works. It's just the cover doesn't latch. So that's another minor issue thing there. This one, kind of the same thing. This smoke detector is hanging down. The question is why? If you just stuff the wires back up in there, attach it to its plate, then you're done. So this is what I put in minor issues, that a conversation needs to happen with the owner to say, okay, is that all that's happening? Is this broken? Does it need to be fixed? What is going on here? Why is this in this condition? Kind of the same thing with the fan. It's hanging down. Why? Well, the latch is broke. Okay, that makes sense. We'll fix it. The smoke detector, why is it hanging down? Did you replace the battery and just not put it back and then just forget about it? So it does require some conversation. And this next one too, same thing. The door, you go to pull it closed, it only doesn't close all the way. It goes halfway and then it gets lodged in there and can't close. Has it been like this for the last 15, 20 years? Or is this something new that just happened? Is the humidity up, the door swelled, and that's why it is? So is this an easy fix? You plane it, you sand it, and it works. Or is there something structural going on here? So again, it's a minor issue, but it warrants a conversation with the current owner to say, how long has this door done this? Are there any other things? And part of my job, I see a door that doesn't fix. Are the windows out of alignment? Are there any other doors there? Do the walls look bowed or sagging or something like that? Is there a structural piece happening to this? So could it get escalated to a major issue? So that's what I look for in there. That's basically the second section, minor issues, just things that everybody needs to be aware of. The third section is what I call the maintenance section. And this is from my opinion, I believe that when you own a house, it's a living, breathing, changing thing, and you need to take care of it. You need to do regular maintenance. You need to upgrade things. You need to change things when they wear out or they break. That's your job as a homeowner. So the items I put in here are, again, they're things to be aware of, but to let the buyer know that this is really your responsibility to take care of. Now, the current owner, do they need to take care of it? The conversation can happen. Can they let it just go and the buyer takes care of it when they do it? That's a possibility. But again, everybody needs to know of these things that are happening. And kind of a good example, we'll go back to that tree. As the homeowner, you need to take care of this. So there are lots of options. Do you put a leaf guard over it? Do you trim the limbs back? Do you cut the tree down? Do you plant another tree farther away from the house, closer to the fence? And when it grows up and provides some shade for you, cut down this tree. I mean, you got a lot of options there, but as the owner in the maintenance section, it's kind of your decision as to what you want to do with it. Another thing that in the maintenance section is this furnace here. It happens to be a wall furnace. It's between two rooms. And if you look in there, there's dust, there's lint, and there's also, in this example, there's some cat hairs in there. So every once in a while, you need to take the covers off, vacuum it out, change the filters. Same thing with your refrigerator. Every once in a while, pull it out and vacuum off the dust off the coils back there. So this is the kind of stuff that I put in the maintenance section. In the fourth section is what I call the FYI section. And literally that's what it is, for your information. It's for information for the buyer, for the person that's going to be moving into this residence. So it's things like, where's the attic? So I take a picture of it, a description of how to get to it, where it is. The main water shutoff, where is it? The gas valve, where is that? Main gas valve, your breaker box. Is there a main breaker to shut off all the electricity, and then there's separate ones for each individual section of the house? Sometimes those are in the same panel box, sometimes they're on opposite sides of the house. So it's just good stuff to know about that. The other thing too, I've noticed a lot of new builds, they're putting outlets up under the eaves for like Christmas lights. And sometimes you're not sure they're there. Most of them you can see if you look for them, but I just take pictures of it and mention it so that the buyer is aware that those outlets are there and they're there to use. If a house has some special system in it or something a little different or strange or odd, it goes in this section. As long as it's not an issue, a major or minor issue, it goes in this section just so the buyer's aware of what's happening. So that's the FYI section. And really those are the first four sections you really need to look at. The fifth section is just the whole body of the report. It is everything. All the first four sections are included in the main body of the report. Also, there's stuff like that I comment on that actually works good or operates as it's supposed to, like the furnace. Does it work like it's supposed to? That's down in the main body. We'll take a bathroom sink. Is the cold water on the cold side where it should be, the hot water on the hot side where it should be? And does cold water come out? Does hot water come out? If it has a stopper, does the stopper work? If it has an overflow valve, does the overflow actually work and not leak all over the floor, which they sometimes do? And the plumbing underneath, does it leak? So there's pictures of each one of those, there's descriptions of each one of those. Even though everything worked like it was supposed to, I like to let everyone know I did operate it and test it to make sure that it did. And then I have some photographic proof that, yeah, here's how it worked. If it didn't work, then it would also be in either the minor or major issue section. So that's pretty much what my report is. Real concise kind of video here, but I think it works really well. And there's some minor tweaks that I can do for it. If you see a report, you use it, you have questions about it, give me a holler. You can give me a call, you can text me at the number you're seeing right there. Or if you want to communicate by email, here's my email address. It's david@beaglehomeinspections.com. I'd appreciate it if you go to the website, take a look at that. That's at www.beaglehomeinspections.com. Take a look at it, make some comments. I have a blog section there where every once in a while I put stuff up there for you to see. And actually this video may end up there in the near future. Also, I've just created a new website because I do radon testing. That you can find at the address down below, basically beagleradontesting.com. But it's got everything you want to know about radon. And there's a section in there about that. And I have links to like the CDC, the EPA, American Lung Association, Boulder County Health, all different places like that. So you can jump on one of those links and go down as deep in that little rabbit hole as you want to. So take a look at that. Give me some comments on it. Let me know what you think of it. And that's all I have for today. So everybody out there, be safe, and I'll talk to you next time.